At 59 years old, this native Brooklynite was a true expert on the New York City subway system. He had spent his life navigating its routes, its schedules, and its many quirky, complex permutations. He was a true train nerd, possessing the intuitive sense to know exactly where to stand on a platform so the doors of an incoming train would open directly in front of him. But that lifelong routine eventually began to break down. He started failing at seemingly simple tasks, complaining repeatedly that the transit kiosk machines were broken. When his wife accompanied him to the station, she watched him squint and poke blindly at the screen. He misread the payment prompts, and when asked for a PIN, he typed in their zip code instead. These lapses at the kiosk were the first visible signs of a hidden cognitive collapse. After a year of neurology tests, they received a diagnosis: a rare Alzheimer's subtype called posterior cortical atrophy. This chart of the brain shows why his vision failed first. In this subtype, amyloid plaques attack the posterior region, the visual processing center, rather than the memory centers. This microscopic plaque buildup eventually moves forward from the visual cortex, gradually dismantling short-term and working memory. After being forced to retire, he insisted on riding the subway alone to visit museums and old neighborhoods. His wife was left to balance his physical safety against his need for independence. To protect him without taking away his freedom, she built a digital safety net that he couldn't see. She began by downloading a tracking app onto his phone, silencing all notifications and burying the icon deep inside a utilities folder. She also hid digital tracking tags in his backpack and added one to his keychain, telling him it was a new system for the whole family to help them find lost keys. Finally, she installed Tap to Pay on his phone, allowing him to bypass the confusing physical subway card machines entirely. This map represents her screen. As the dot moved, watching became a form of presence. From her office, she felt connected. When the dot paused at Central Park, she pictured him there, proving his navigation remained intact. This digital tether gave them an extension on the routines that had held their marriage together for over 20 years. While the tracking app confirmed he was navigating the city grid, his physical reality at home was becoming more difficult. The same man who could navigate a complex two-train transfer could no longer operate the kitchen toaster or find a fork sitting right next to his plate. The most painful change was the growing silence. The vibrant subway conversations they once shared were replaced by blank stares as his working memory faded. It created a paradox. He was perfectly located on a digital map, but increasingly lost in the physical world. After 18 months, the tracking data began to behave differently, signaling a new stage of decline. This visualization reveals the change. The tracking dot traces erratic, zigzagging paths, switching lines without clear objectives. He rides straight to Midtown and immediately returns without surfacing. Other times, it jumps lines, sitting motionless on random corners for 20 minutes. These erratic trip summaries were no longer proof of his skills. They provided a visual record of his brain's failing logic. He returned home from these aimless journeys showing no confusion, often claiming to visit locations he never reached. His wife would smile and validate these stories, while privately confronting the reality that it was finally time to take away his subway access. The technology she used to grant him independence eventually became a way to monitor the expanding, irreversible distance between the man he was and where he is headed.